In this video, we're going to walk through how to access your Turnitin Similarity Report after you have submitted to your Turnitin assignment inside your Moodle course. Once you have submitted, you can access your Similarity Report by clicking on the assignment name and going to your assignment inbox. Once you have submitted, you should receive a Turnitin score along with your other submission information here. And all you need to do to open up your Similarity Report is to click on the score itself. When you do that, it will open up Feedback Studio. If this is your first time using Feedback Studio, it will give you a little tour where you can click through various comments to help get used to how to use your Similarity Report. As you can see, we are inside Feedback Studio now, and here's the paper I submitted. I'm going to zoom out so we can see a little more of the paper. And you can scroll through your paper with this scroll bar here. And you can move through your paper with this thumbnail on the left and move page by page if you'd like. Up here you will see your name along with the title of your paper. If your instructor has given you a score, you will see that score here. At any time you can move to the Turnitin Helpful Guides by clicking this little question mark here, and this will take you to Turnitin.com where you can view more information on these items here. You can also view the full help guide if you wish. Over here on the right, we have our different layers. This top button just lists out your active layers. If I was to turn off the Similarity Layer here and uncheck this box, you'll notice that those highlights go away. Those were our matches where we can dig in and find where those matches came from and their sources. Make sure you have these all turned on so that you can see everything that your instructor has added to your paper. Our next layer here is our Instructor Feedback layer. If I click on this blue button and open it up, you can see we can view the rubric. If our instructor has left us any text comments, we'd be able to see those here. And if they'd left us any voice comments, we'd be able to see and listen to those voice comments as well. Over here on the left, we can see some examples of various instructor comments that they've left. For instance, you can see they've typed right into my paper and asked me to please see them in their office hours. They've also left some other notes here for us, and if you click on any of these blue comments, it will open up and give you a better description of that comment. Here's a comment the teacher actually left for me, letting me know that I need a new title. Your teacher also has the ability to highlight certain areas of your paper, and you can see we have a comment here that is attached to this highlight. If I click on that comment, my teacher has told me to please delete this sentence. You might also see other types of comments left. In this case, my instructor actually ran a red line through my material, letting me know that I can delete that as well. Any comments left from your instructor will be in blue, and you can click on these comments at any time to see the description of that comment. The system also will, depending on what options your instructor has chosen for your assignment, you may see purple comments in your paper as well. This is from our ETSE rater, this purple layer over here on the right, and it automatically checks your papers for grammar, mechanics, style, usage, and spelling. Your instructor has the ability to turn this on or off, so if you do not see this purple layer or any purple comments, most likely your instructor has decided not to use it. If you do see these are generated through artificial intelligence. It's to help bring your attention to some items that you may need to take a closer look at. For instance, this purple comment here, article error. If I click on that and open it up, it gives me a description of this issue. And if I'm having trouble with this comment or I need to fix something and I'm not sure how to do it, I can click on this View Handbook button here, and it will take you to Turnitin's online handbook. You can toggle through the different levels of the handbook here on the right. And you can click on Table of Contents if you'd like to jump to different areas to take a look at that part of the online handbook. To go back into Feedback Studio, I just need to click my tab, and it will take me back in. Once in a while, your instructor may also add their own comment to these purple comments, and you would see that below as well. Just remember, to access the online handbook, you need to click on one of the purple comments and click on the View Handbook link. This red layer here is your Similarity Layer. This is where you will be able to dig in and see where you have matched to Turnitin's various repositories. If you remember, our score that we clicked on was 50, and this is my score here. If I click on this score, it is going to let me know where my largest matches have come from. You can see they are color-coded and numbered, so this purple 3 here matches to this purple 3 here. And it lets me know that my paper has matched to a student at Tennessee State University. So this student at Tennessee State University also used this paragraph that I used in my paper. Now keep in mind, Turnitin is never going to tell you that plagiarism has taken place. We are simply going to let you know where things have matched. If you have cited your sources correctly, then most likely plagiarism has not taken place. We want you to use this as a learning tool and to bring things to your attention that you may not have been aware of. Just because it is matched does not mean that it is necessarily plagiarism. As you can see, this number 2 here goes with our number 2. In this case, it matched with an internet source. So if I actually click on this link here, it shows me my match within the context of the article that I took it from. Now this is a smaller view. If you'd like to see a larger view, you can click this button here to see the full source view. And over here on the right, you will see your match within the context of the entire article. At any time, you can click on the link here to go directly to that website. Keep in mind, you are leaving Turnitin, and you will be entering a website that we have no control of. And by entering that website, you also will not be able to see any of your matches within that article. It will just give you that article in its entirety. Now, like I mentioned, when you click on your score, it will give you your largest matches. Within these larger matches reside smaller submatches. If you were to click on any of these arrows to view the match breakdown, it will actually show you an even more in-depth look at all the different matches from your larger match. So if I scroll here, you can see if I scroll down, I can see matches all the way down to 2% and 1%. If I was to click on this match here for 2%, submitted to the University of Memphis, the student at the University of Memphis used just this highlighted portion of my larger match inside of their paper. If I scroll up and find another match here, let's say at 8%, this website used just this highlighted match within my larger match inside their website. So you can see Turnitin is going to be very specific and find you even the smallest of matches. If you do not want to have to drill into each of your largest matches to view the smaller matches, you can click this button here. And this is your all source view. And this will simply give you one giant list of every single match within your paper. This button here is for filters and settings. If you click on this button, it allows you to exclude quotes, bibliography, and small sources. Maybe you've received a larger score than what you anticipated. But keep in mind, Turnitin is also going to match up your quotes and also portions of your bibliography. So if you wanted to see what your score would be if you excluded quotations and excluded bibliography, you could check these buttons here and click Apply Changes, and it will run a new report. And this time it will not check any content that falls within quotation marks, and it will not check any content that falls the words references, works cited, or bibliography. Likewise, you have the ability to exclude small sources. As you saw, Turnitin will find you small sources down to 1% and 2%. If you would like to see what your score would be without Turnitin checking for those smaller sources, you could decide to exclude by words. Maybe you decide you do not want to see any matching that is 10 words or less, or maybe you do not want to see any matches that are 5% or lower. Again, you could choose those, click Apply Changes, and you will most likely see your score go down because you've chosen those exclusions. You can choose all 3 of these exclusions if you want and run a new report. Once you've ran that new report, you can always unclick these and then run those changes through again, and it will bring you back to your original score. Once you are done with any of your filters and settings, you can uncheck them if you wish. Click that Apply Changes button, and it will bring you back your original score. You do have the ability to turn off the resolution. The higher resolution just means that the screen will be a little clearer. It is not necessary. If you do find that it is loading slower than usual, you may choose to turn off the higher resolution so that Feedback Studio loads a little quicker. You also have these helpful buttons here. This button is your submission information. If you click on that, it will let you know your submission ID and your submission details. If you click on this download button, you have 3 options. You can download your originally submitted file. If you submitted a Word doc, you could click on this button and download that Word doc if you needed to. Your digital receipt is that submission information we just saw in printable form. And then you also have a current view report. The current view report is going to create a comprehensive PDF document that includes everything that we've just seen inside our paper. So if I click current view, you can see it is preparing me a document. Once that document is ready, I can open it up, and you can see it has prepared an 8-page document. Here is my paper with my submission information. Here is my paper with all of my instructor comments, as well as all of my matching and ETSE rater comments. If I scroll down, it shows me my overall score and where my largest matches came from, as well as any exclusions that may have been chosen. It will give me my final grade. If my instructor has left any comments, they would appear here as well. And it gives me a page-by-page listing of every comment, ETSE rater comment, strike through that has been added to my paper. And lastly is my rubric, as well as how I scored in my rubric. This document is available to you anytime by clicking on the download button and choosing the current view report. Your instructor also has access to these materials as well. Thank you very much for watching this video.